Unfortunately, I didn't get around to watching this documentary, and I was the one who recommended to you. That would be Chadwick Boseman, Portrait of an Artist. Um, literally, I was going to watch it this morning, and then current went because the electricity company was doing some work, fixing up some stuff around my knees, so I could not get to see the show at all. But yeah, take it away, Ricardo. What was it about, and how was it?
Yeah, no, right. So what it was not, it didn't seem to be particular. Yeah, here's what it felt like. So I'm not insulting it. I think it was still quite good for what it was. But effectively, what it was just an extension. It felt like one of those behind the scenes things for Marry Me Black Bottom, and
Oh, okay,
because,
okay.
right, and then but because Chadwick died, they decided, all right, they're going to do a kind of extended thing about him. But it didn't feel like anything about him particularly, to be honest, because it was just pulling stuff from Marini's Black Bottom in terms of his work and the material, and then how he did think as an actor, his level of professionalism, how much drive he had as an actor, how much all the little things he just do to make the effort to sort out you know all the little things you just do when you want to sort out, say, being an actor, and him, the level of professionalism. They talk about how his career, who built up his career in the early days, and you have little interview driven mostly. Denzel Washington, um Viola Davis, there's the usual people around him.
Yeah,
um
I saw Spike Lee was
Spike
in the
Lee,
in the trailer. Yeah.
yeah, Felicia Rashad. Yeah, just a general crowd, and a bunch of people just referencing him and his work and what he was like growing up. He did a well. They make mention. They make mention he did a directing degree, not a he wasn't an acting major. He was a directing major. So it's quite possible that if he lived longer with us, he would have really getting directed by Chadwick Boseman in the future. Like that little stuff
Yeah.
like that, and they just kind of talk about the not I won't say squandered potential, but like the level of just I mean immense talent that we're talking about with him. And yeah, it was pretty good. I really dug it for what it was. It's smart, brilliant kind of let's call it work ethic style, how you don't give up little anecdotes. They just did the thing, but it was short and sweet. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, and that's how it is. Nothing really to write home about as a big, amazing thing. Just a nice little a coda to him. And it felt more like connected to Marini's Black Bottom because they mainly focus on that a lot. Like they focus on that a lot for some reason. And
Right, right.
that's about it. It's short. It's like 21 minutes, but yeah, it's in and out, and it was good. It just all the little actors, little jokes, little things, and all these nice little side stories. Like there's one good story about how when he was playing in the James Brown movie, he was they were dinner they was going to dinner, and he talk about the fellow was the director of that film, talking about how he just constantly dance, and he was dancing, and the people was just watching him strange, like we're dancing for, because he constantly in the role and thinking about the role, little things like that, and that's it, it's stuff like that. Yeah, rating, well, give it like a 8 out of 10. Nothing brilliant or brilliant, just a nice homage to Chadwick, and it was good, pretty nice.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I know that this show is gonna be up for 30 days, I believe it is.
right.
Um, I
Right, yeah,
guess
exactly.
that makes
And that makes
sense.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Not something that I'm trying to think of why. I read that news somewhere and I was like, why? And then I just suspect it might be connected to more directly connected to thing now. I mean, if you want a better, like longer thing on Chadwick's life, there you could find this on Disney Plus. The extended stuff connected to Black Panther. So if you go watch Black Panther and you'll find the all extra material, it have something that ABC had. There's a whole thing to that is a more thing to his career and his life and the thing. And I felt that was a lot more touching and well done.
Right.
Um,
I remember when it aired, but I still
right.
haven't watched it though.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That was much more professional and much more timely as for lack of a better term. But this was good too. This was pretty good for what it was too. So yeah, it's fine.
Okay, okay, okay.
Hmm.
All right. Well, sticking with Netflix one more time. Let's finally talk about Concrete Cowboy. The reason why I say finally is because I've put this off for like about a couple of weeks, just because of Godzilla versus Kong and
Right.
other stuff that basically. I was not excited actually, but I was intrigued basically from the jump, just mainly because it's well the portrayal of modern black cowboys, right? Which is something they touch on, not so much the modern stuff, but just black cowboys basically, right? And it's actually a debut feature. It's directed by a guy called Ricky Stubb. I actually stumbled upon him like through one of those film riot videos basically on YouTube, right?
Right.
Like the host of the show actually interviewed him, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm working on my first feature. It's called Concrete Cowboy." I was like, "What? Okay." So yeah, it's a white man, me making this film, pretty much set in the black area of Washington D.C. Sorry, in Philadelphia. Sorry, but I mean, nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's the white perspective or whatnot. It's just how competent of a story he's telling, through his camera, right? It's based off of a novel called Ghetto Cowboy, written by a guy called Greg Neary, and basically it's sort of it's centered on this real life club, right? It's called the Fletcher Street Urban Riding Club.
Right.
It's basically this group of African Americans who are
Right.
into horse riding, basically, right? So they actually raise horses and all that kind of stuff, right? And yes, they do call themselves cowboys. You know what I mean? As opposed to just driving cars or whatnot, they ride on horseback because that's what they're passionate about, right? And it's just basically about keeping this tradition, right, of the of more horse riding, not so much the cowboy stuff. That's just part of it. But it's really about just taking care of horses and just treating them fairly and all that kind of stuff, right? So it centers on a kid named Cole who is played by Caleb McLaughlin. If I got his name wrong, forgive me, right? And it's only after the movie ended I realized, oh shit, that man is Lucas from Stranger Things, Dread.
Right.
The
Yeah.
black
Yeah.
kid from
Yeah.
from yeah.
Yeah. I hear you grow up. I hear you grow up.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Get big. You get big. You get big.
He
Yeah.
get big. He,
Get big fast. I see that. Yeah.
I would not lie, but this man looked totally different. Dread. It's like, he's far from the nerdy kid that you saw in Stranger Things. He curses a lot, but it makes sense why. And pretty much what it is, Dread, is that he is this Detroit kid, and this kind of established that he is a troublemaker, right? It opens with him, with his mom actually in the principal office talking about how he got telling her how he got involved in this fight and all that kind of stuff. And she's just like, you know what, I just don't know what to do again. So, and we'll get to cliches, or I should say tropes in a bit. But yeah, this
Right.
this is a typical urban drama trope.
Yeah.
The wayward kid, we don't know what to do with him, so here's what to do: let's take him to his dad. Yes, you've
Right.
seen it before. It was in Boys in the Hood. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Let's take
Yeah.
him for you know what I mean. I can't be there for you. I can't be a man. I can't be a father to you. So
Right.
only father could be a father to you, right? So that's what it is.
Yeah.
So she literally like just drives him over to Philly, right? This particular area, right? This hood area basically, and flat out leaves him on the front step basically
Sure.
of
Sure.
his dad's house, right? His name is Hap. He's played by Idris Elba. Like
Right.
literally just leave him, roll up windows, speed off. Jared is really really bad. But yeah, we learn later on that it's basically his estranged dad basically, right? They can explain what went on and why he left the relationship and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But from the jump, it's like if you want to stay here, that's fine. But if you leave, you're on your own basically. That's how he is, right? But he works at this stable that's literally around the corner by where he lives, right? And there we meet we meet some other characters as well. One in particular is Nessie. She's played by Lorraine Toussaint. Last time I saw
Okay.
her
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
in Orange is the New Black, right? She was
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the main antagonists in the
Right.
series,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Loved
In
her in
second
that film.
second season. Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Second, no, I think it was like midway, like fourth or fifth or something like that.
So she didn't get bounced down. That was
Yeah, right. Well, I should say that I think
that's
she came in after Pussy died. I believe she came in the season
Okay.
after that death. I could be
Okay.
wrong, but I think that's what went to her.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I can't read details. All right. No
This
problem.
is it's fine. It's like, dude, series ended like what, 2, 3 years ago. So,
I've
and that was
heard.
like what, 6 seasons.
Right.
Yeah. So, they also meet some other people who work there as well. And yeah, essentially what they do is just take care of the horses. Make sure to clean up after them. Shoveling off hay and shit and all that kind of stuff. And that's what they do, right? The older ones will just kind of hang out outside. You know what I mean? Smoking, drinking, reminiscing, all that kind of stuff, right? Also, I forgot to mention, we also have Method Man. Yeah, he's in this
Okay.
as well too, and he plays Leroy. He is a cop, right? But he was actually one of the Franklin Street guys. Or I think, well, actually, they can establish that there's more than one horse riding group in Philly, right? So I think he was from one of those other like groups, basically, right? But yeah, he decided to kind of hang his hat up basically and become a police officer, right? You know what I mean? For just for reasons, no, not really anything big in particular, but that's just what he does, right? But so often he would just show up and just hang out with the guys, basically, right? And what it is just basically Cole's coming. It's just a coming of age story, basically, with Cole. Because while he's there, he meets an old friend named Smush. That's his nickname, by the way. Played by Jarrell Jerome, who
Yeah.
you
Right.
remember from Moonlight and When They See
Moonlight.
Us.
Right.
It's like, well, okay, well, I'm still getting
Yeah.
that Netflix money, bro. Do your thing,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I can't be mad at that. Yeah.
yeah. And another trope.
Mm-hmm.
He works for this drug dealer
Of course.
because he had to get by somehow.
Right.
But they explain why, and it makes sense. I'll probably bring it up in later on in review, right? But yeah, basically it's just like, well, you know what? I will look after you because it's not like your dad gives a shit. So it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like
He more like the dad.
right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But what the film does smartly actually is actually do it in such a way that Cole doesn't really like do drug runs or whatnot. It's really like Smush who does it, right? But Cole will probably get like a little $200, or probably after hours you'll go out and lime or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what he'll do really. But Smush is smart enough not to bring him into that world. Okay, he not really built for it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, while all this is going on, he kind of gets used to life, with the whole Fletcher Street Club. Basically, he learns a lot about horses, how to take care of them, and he actually gets a little closer with his dad, right? And
Right.
last thing I'll say before we get to the actual review itself, but there are some issues that's going on, right? One involving gentrification,
Right.
so and as it is, to be honest, these individuals taking care of horses, this even like Cole's dad himself even has a horse in his house.
Right.
So there's all these things that people like we not sure if you're raising these horses well enough, and we may have to kind of shuttle it down, you know what I mean, because we hear and talk about horses are malnourished and all that kind of stuff now, and it's just them just kind of going about their business, but they just know that, hey, you know what I mean, we had to do what we do, or next thing you know, we get our business get closed, shut down, because literally there's nothing for them outside of this. This is what they dedicate their life to. That's it. And if this thing ends, then that's pretty much it, right? So that's it. If animal control comes in, that's it, right? But
Right.
it's not like, but to be fair, it's not like they mistreat any horses or anything like that. It's just, yeah, basically, it's just modern times. Like,
Yeah.
why do you have horses in your house? Like, why do you have
Yeah.
them literally outside of your home? You know what I mean? It's those kind of things. And I'll stop here. So, I would say, um, despite its tropes, because it does rely on familiar urban drama scenarios, right? You know what I mean? Um, Kid goes into impoverished area, has to form this bond with his dad. There's, someone who's his age who's involved in drugs or crime, and who, kind of gets him into that world, and there's trouble afoot and all these kind of things. You've
Right.
seen that before, but here I would say they kind of switch things up just ever so subtly, so it doesn't feel like you're just watching this derivative film, right? But I know
Right,
for some people they might watch this and be like, yeah, I know what's gonna happen next. Yeah, we know,
right,
blah 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 blah, right? But it's for what it is. I thought this was a solid film, man. And this was a really impressive debut by Ricky Stubb, right?
right.
Um, what I would say though, just right off the bat, this is a very, very sleek looking film though. The cinematography is really impressive, very, very top notch in my opinion. It's very, very well shot. I would give it that much. Also too, I thought that the acting for the most part was pretty solid, especially from Caleb, right? Who technically is the star of the film. I felt that he held his own. He really is not, the Lucas character that he played in Stranger Things. It is even to the point, like I say, I didn't even know it was him, Jed. He was that different in that show. Um, Idris was fine, but I would say though there are points in the movie where you don't see him at all, and it just mostly centers on Cole, which I felt was, I guess, is intentional because it's like, oh well, Harp is just like, yeah, if you leave or whatever, you know what I mean? Like you could tell that he does not know exactly how to take care of him, right? It's just, oh, you want to be hard? Okay, well, just be hard, no? You know what I mean? It's just like that. That's his mindset, right? But there is literally a point in the second act where you don't even see him, Jenny. I kind of wondering, wait, it's just so in this movie, you know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
He just kind of disappears the while Cole gets into shenanigans, basically. Um, as far as the smush stuff goes, it's entertaining, although it's stuff that you've seen before, especially with the whole young kid trying to, make drug money or do all these, that kind of life basically, right? But the reasoning behind it, so just mild spoiler here, is that he is technically part of the club as well. He is a horse rider as well, technically a cowboy as well. But his thing is that he wants to build his own ranch, but he had to make money to do it first, right? So this is the only way he could make money. Fine, right? And I was like, hey, I could buy into that. I could totally buy
Yeah,
into that. But yeah, at this core, basically, it is a coming of age story. It is about Cole, learning about life and just learning that yeah, there are bad elements out there, and it's easy for him, sorry, to get involved in it. But it's not like there's gonna be some adult that's gonna just pull him out of that. When things go south, basically, right? He has to figure things out on his own. So you have characters like Harp, you have Nessie in particular, telling him, "Don't do this, don't do that," and he'll be ignorant for not like because he's an idiot, but just ignorant because he just feels like he knows better, and
right.
he'll get involved, and it's just like we telling you, don't get involved with smush, don't get involved with these people, right? And then, well, trouble happens, but thankfully you have these individuals, these horse riders, these cowboys, basically, that show him the straight the straight and narrow path, basically, right? As for the group themselves, I thought that they added a lot of charm, a lot of heart to the story. And funny thing is, in the end of the film, they have like this while the credits rolling, they actually reveal, just like a film that we saw earlier, this year, Nomadland, they actually like real people though.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, like the actual club itself, like you see like well, people in the film that I was watching and thinking, oh, they're just actors. I wonder if I saw this guy before, you know what I mean? No, they're actually part of the club. It's a real club, right? So yeah, they being interviewed in the end, and they just talk about why they do it, and it's just that love and just that tradition. Basically, they just want to carry on, though, and it just added so much to the film. I would say though that it does kind of have it, right. So it kind of has this I don't want to say this uneven tonal shift, basically, but it does feel like part hood movie, part coming of age story, and sorry to say this, part animal lover film, basically, right? Okay, yeah, there's a couple of moments where like you swear it's about how to say, I don't know how to categorize these films. Some like a Free Willy or a Flipper, where it's like this kid with a chip on his shoulder finds this animal and there's a bond and he learns a lot about being responsible because of taking care of this animal and
Right.
he eventually saves the animal, which does happen in the show, eh? So yeah, you're wondering if it's like you're watching like Free Willy or one of those shows that they kind of do that. But I wonder, well, because of the kid's age, because he's like what? He's like a teenager basically. He's not even 18 in the film at all, right? They take it, all right, well, I guess we kind of have to do this because, it's a horse, right? So you want to have that bond with him and the horse, okay? But yeah, there are a few moments where it almost kind of takes you out of the film because they go for gritty and they go for real, right? But when I felt like they went to the animal stuff, it's almost like, all right, this is like almost like a Free Willy film I'm watching here, kind of take it back, kind of move from PG. Let me go back to the R rating. Let me go back to that, right? And the same thing I would say too with the cowboy aspect, right? Because yes, they do. There's a great scene actually which mentions about black cowboys and how
Right.
roughly 50% of American cowboys were black, and
And
literally
that's
it
a
was
whole
cowhand and they changed it to boy because how white people used to call
right,
black
yeah.
boys, that kind of thing. So great moment with that. But there is a moment near the end, I don't want to spoil it, where and it almost take me out of the show too, but it's like where okay, we call ourselves cowboys. Let's actually do something cowboy-ish.
Right.
And they do it. And I understand that they had to work within the story, but at points in it, like it's an okay scene, well, it's an okay sequence, but at points I was just like, all right, this is just way too, how to say, it just plays out way too not derivative, just okay, this is how we're gonna play this out. All right, yeah, this is how it is, right? So literally there's no set of tension or anything like that. It just kind of plays out the way you think it would play out, right? But in the real world, that's all I'll say, that kind of shit would not go out the way it did. But this kind of went this way because of movie, that's why, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, though, this still was a really solid film. Not the best film I've seen this year, but it's a pretty solid drama. I wouldn't say this is gonna go down as one of the best urban dramas or hood movies ever made, though. But in terms of just shedding this light on these individuals and just treating them as just people who just have that passion and just want to carry on that tradition, right? And yeah, it makes sense. I mean, say what you want, you can kind of laugh at the idea of, oh, you have these guys literally riding on horseback with, gallon hats. So basically, yeah,
Right.
cowboy hats basically on their heads, and while we speeding around in cars and bikes, you know what I mean?
Right.
But no, like the show really goes out of its way to kind of establish why they do what they do, right? But I do like and respect the fact that the show isn't really just about that. It's about this kid who kind of finds himself looking at these individuals like, okay, y'all some weirdos I don't understand. But yeah, him kind of understanding who they are and him basically kind of becoming one of them at the end. So yeah, it worked right there. So overall, for me, I'm gonna give this like a decent 3.5 out of 5, man. It's worth checking out. Again, it's not the best hood movie or urban drama you'll see though. But it has a lot of heart. It has a lot of
Yeah.
charm to it.
Yeah, we'll see Prim review it in 5 years, right? So
Probably. It would be funny though. It would be really funny seeing his take on the show. But yeah, so I mean, this show does not like reinvent the mold when it comes to coming of age dramas or hood movies or black struggle films or whatnot. But in terms of just shedding this light on this community, yeah, it's really admirable, man. So yeah, I would say give it a look, man. Give it a look. Hey, this is Matthew Bailey, and I hope you've enjoyed this segment of the BS Beats and Bailey podcast. If you'd like to hear the full episode, hit up my link tree. On the other side of my head are 2 videos you can check out. Like this video if you like it, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell as well. Thanks for listening, and until the next one, take care, peace.